Hal here with more Space Engineers, yay! And we have made a bit of progress, just a little bit, and some changes. We'll talk about all of that shortly. First, let's get started, so let's go. So, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day and a terrific week. And for those who are in the U.S., hopefully you're staying safe with all the interesting things going on. For those who don't know, you have to go web search it. I'm not going to touch it right now. Anyway, all right, so we have made a bit of a change. Okay, so we have taken apart pretty much all of the the actual shuttle piece that we had, the tram system, and we've ground down probably a little over half of that. We started at the mining area and started working our way backwards, and what that has allowed us to do is quite a bit. Actually, you know what, let's do this really quick. Let's bring some sunlight into our lives here. There we go. Alright, so what we have gotten done, and this is stuff we were talking about yesterday, we've gotten the rest of the refineries welded up. We've got all of the yield modules welded up. And I've gone ahead and gotten more done on the armor for each of the nacelles, and this is mirrored on both sides here. So now you have the caps where you end up with basically what looks like restraining straps added to the refineries, and then we mirrored that on the back half down here because, again, you know, with the way that the refineries are sitting, we wanted something to look a little bit more interesting and not just have, you know, the refineries just kind of hanging there. The refineries by themselves look fine, but I just wanted to make the whole thing look a little bit more finished. And then to show you over here, everything is welded up over here as well. We've actually got all of the caps in on this side and repeated over here. Now, the piece that we still need to work on is we still need to build the cowling for the thrusters. We have to add that on the other side entirely. And so what we'll probably do is, I don't know if I'm going to do that on camera, because I think it's going to be just me fiddling around with a bunch of different pieces and seeing what works and what doesn't. But we'll work on that and show you what's going on there shortly. Haven't done a whole lot up here. I do need to go through and troubleshoot over here a little bit. I don't know if it's under this one or not. Inventory's full. But we have some holes in the ceiling under here somewhere. So what I'm probably going to have to do is pull all of these caps off and check to see which ones are still not welded up. I actually ground down and replaced all of the solar panels to make sure everything under the solar panels was done. And then I found some of these caps weren't actually attached. And I think I only did one block under here, and I left the space under these open. So I'm going to check to make sure. Actually, I've got an inventory full of stuff. Let me go deal with this stuff. Basically, what I wanted to do today, we'll come back to those caps in a second, is I want to get this stuff welded up. I actually have welded up these two tanks, and I'll show you why in a second. But I want to get as much of this stuff welded as possible, because what we've done is we've started moving materials from the old base over to the ship for a couple of different reasons. One of them makes it much easier to get parts, but we do get a system hang for a couple of seconds because there's a lot going on this ship right now. As you can see, we are still See, the last couple of times I've done this, I've actually thought about restarting because I thought it crashed. But right now, it should catch up here with us in a second. So what I may do is I may reverse what we've done so far for delivering materials and put them back in the other base, because I think that this grid is just so overloaded. Hey, there we go. That I think that it's just causing way too many problems with everything. And so the idea is that once we have all of this welded up, actually I think that'll get us where we need to go for right now. Because when I was putting the, when I got the reactors and engines online, I realized they weren't able to pull materials through the grid because this row of blocks for the junctions weren't actually connected to anything. So now we have them connected through that massive network of material. As you can see, everything is welded up in here. And I went ahead and placed the, I guess you call them placeholders for now. We're not going to weld those up in the near future. But I wanted to make sure that we had the upper catwalk system figured out. And I did go ahead and put cargo containers on both sides next to the stairs. That way we can put some materials. And right now I'm storing what uranium we had on hand, which was a little over 100 units. I think it was like 102 or something like that, to keep them out of the network while we're building. That way we can actually have things turned on and working without having to worry about it consuming our uranium right now. Alright, so what we did is we went ahead and put in that extra set of stairs that we were talking about. Got us our walkway up here. So we have all of this in and welded up now, which is really helpful actually. We need this set up, you know, or whatever we're going to set up in there. And I've been checking as we go. If I close all the doors, this room is airtight. So we have now successfully moved our air envelope back one more room. And that brings us up to here, which is, we were talking about this yesterday. If I draw a line from this corner piece to that corner piece and basically seal it off at that point, this room is airtight. The reason we were having problems, I don't remember if I showed that on camera or not now. Basically what happened was I have some 2x1s on the exterior. This portion here is all connected. But at this right here, that is not airtight because that's a 2x1 slope tip on the back of a base. So because those two corners are touching, they're not actually sealed. So what I had to do was put that in to seal that line, and then basically repeated the process on the other side, which meant we had to add 2 conveyor junctions because we had the vent down there before. We couldn't airtight the whole thing with it like that. So put the 2 junctions in and then put the vents on those. So we actually also put windows in, and I still don't know what we're going to use the space for, honestly. I just thought it was kind of nice to have a little bit of extra space. Maybe we'll put windows like skylights in on the top or something and use this for crew quarters. Now my one fear is that when this is all welded up, this doesn't end up being airtight. If that happens, I will probably swap it out for the other window types and move them back one line. I mean, I guess I could move the sloped windows back one block too. It doesn't matter too much, right? But anyway, so that's what's been going on and what we have been up to for way too many hours. Okay. Just as a FYI, I've been up until like 4 or 5 a.m. the last couple of nights. Oh, yeah, trying to get all this stuff done. All right, so what I want to do is work on the other room here. I want to get as much of this welded up as we can. But I think with what we've got going on, I don't know if I want to risk this thing going crazy or not. Oh, what do I need? I can never remember what these things actually use. Small tubes, large tubes, steel plates, computers. Right. So if we do this, 80 of those, 120 of those, I think. And then just grab a couple hundred of those. Computers, I don't think I need motors, I think. So I just need computers and steel plates. Yeah, so computers and steel plates. We can do that. All right. And yes, I know I can use the planner, but as you saw, I don't want to run the risk of crashing the safe. There you go.
Energy low.
Okay, so that now, because of what we did, so this line is good from cargo section all the way back to the hangar. We put in, there used to be just a regular block here, and we removed that armor block, put in a conveyor junction, so that allows the bridge down to the oxygen tank, through the oxygen tank, into the conveyor junctions behind the O2 generator. And the O2 generator has, there's basically another conveyor junction there, so that ties in. So now everything here through this room is patched in, and through that junction where the O2 generators are, that backs to here. So now all of these are piped in, so all the reactors and hydrogen engines can now pull materials through for their use. And then we have what will eventually be the expansion, the power system expansion, which will also be piped in, with those hydrogen engines being connected through the reactors. So as long as there is any power in the network, we can pull hydrogen through for the engines, as long as we have hydrogen in the network, obviously. And we end up with our actual engine room, which it's been a while since I've actually built a real engine room, and I'm really liking the way the hydrogen engines work in this new system. So yeah, that's a thing. Okay, let's go grab some power really quick. So right now we're basically running off of solar and batteries. We don't have a whole lot of power generation because, well, the large reactors aren't online yet. So yeah. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is I will do the rest of these off camera, I think. I know we've been doing more of the welding and stuff on camera, but because of the way that the system is a little chunky right now because of the stuff over here on the base, or the stuff from the base that's being moved over to this grid. I think what we're going to end up doing is I may move the stuff back. So basically what I did is I just put a sorter block in that I can control. I set for whitelisting. So basically it will only allow the things that are on the list to come through. And so what I've been doing is anything that I'm not actively using in the old base basically has been getting moved over here. Now that worked really well for a while, but now that we're finding that we have way too much on this grid, I may move the stuff back and let the old base handle what we need for right now. And then whatever's left over will basically transfer over. Those are my choices. I don't know if I really like either of them. I don't know. Alright. Oh, okay, you know what we're going to do? Since I have y'all here anyway, let's go see if we can weld up a little bit more back here. Alright, so we got most of that. Did I get rid of everything in my inventory? No. I get rid of everything but computers. Because you don't use computers. You use computers. And you use computers. I think that's all the stuff out of my inventory now. Yes? Yes, okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab... Actually, no, we're not going to grab any plates because we're going to go do some surgery up on the top of the ship. How did I end? Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was starting to work on mirroring things between the two halves of the ship. So, yeah, so we have some steel plates over here. Let's grab these really quick. Okay. So I think back here, all of this is full. I don't think there's any sections there. Okay. And so... you're all sealed. And you know it's going to be like this one block. Just somewhere hidden in all this crap. Huh. Okay. I'm wondering then, because we know that these are airtight. Batteries are airtight, so we're not too worried about that. Alright, let's head inside. Did I leave an opening anywhere? Or did I go ahead? I think I closed it all off, didn't I? Yep, I did. Okay. So I'm wondering if maybe it's the top of these guys? Let's go with really easy to weld up blocks here. So this is really just a test to see if this is where the problem is in our weld up. Do we have plates? Let's go over here really quick. Oh, so yes. It's been a rather long week. We have taken all of the plates out of the system. Okay. I'm trying to think if I've anywhere nearby that I can get some plates. Because I think we've... Actually, you're piped through, right? Yeah. We should be able to grab plates out of here now. There. Awesome. Alright, so let's get this welded up here really quick. And again, we're basically just checking to make sure that this isn't the problem. So all of this is probably going to get ripped out of here again. Alright. Because what I may need to do, and I'm actually dreading this if it's true, is I may need to rip some of the ceiling out. But we'll see. And run our happy little butts through here. Of course, having done that, did I leave the vent in here? I don't know if I left the vent in here. Oh, I did. Okay. Hey, look at that. It is actually sealed. Okay. So I'm guessing that it's the top of the window block. Need it to be sealed. And then we're going to do a walkway in here that's basically going to sit on top of this. And so we'll end up with, you know, the ability to walk, have a ledge up here that you're walking over, which basically allows us to run piping all over this area if we need to. We'll have it wrap around with some stairs that come down somewhere over here. But the idea is that we want to have it set up so that we can run like all of these conveyors and stuff. We want to be able to run those into various things. Like we may put assemblers up here, which might not be a bad idea. If we put the assemblers up here, which I think we already have some in here, right? Yeah, we've got 2. Oh, and did something just blow up? I think something just blew up. Yeah, I went ahead and pulled out all but one of the O2 generators up here. It's this one. Which I may put one here as well, just to have extra O2 generators. I have found with ships this large, if something happens and you take catastrophic damage somewhere, it is always good to have things remotely scattered from each other, so that way if something, you know, the worst case scenario happens, you're not completely assed out. So, all right. Okay, so yeah, everything is working, which means that we'll be able to get everything going again. Okay. That's good.
Energy low.
Well, of course it is. Actually, since if that's sealed now, if we close the doors, let's check to make sure this area is still, yep, okay. Which means if we close you, we're just making sure. You'll see me do this on, and I do this off camera a lot, and I do it on camera every so often, just to make sure everything is still working the way it's supposed to. It is. That's good. So then that tells me that if we close the large hangars, the ship will be completely sealed again, which, you know, is what we're trying for here. We want this thing to be able to sustain life. Go ahead and open all these. And yeah, so the only thing we really have to do at this point is to get the thrusters back here welded up, get the rest of those tanks done. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to go ahead and call this one here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. I know this has been a much shorter video than normal. Like I said, I'm trying to do one every day this week for you, basically to make up for the lack of Friday videos for the last 2 weeks. The downside to that is it means that I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff in shorter chunks. So with the way that the system is acting up right now, I want to make sure that we can get all of this done. So we're going to go ahead and weld all of the rest of this up off camera. That's a lot of welding. Yeah, so the next time we get together, this room should be done. What we'll do is when we get together next time, for tomorrow, we'll start doing some of our pre-flight checking operations.
Energy critical.
So we'll be doing things like turning on the O2 generators, doing test firing with the small reactors that we have here, because we know the large reactors are okay. We want to see what our power generation looks like We may add some wind turbines out on the surface somewhere of this ship. Oh, but yeah, I want to make sure all of this is set up, and I have a feeling that we're going to run into PCU limits. So I'll basically just finish grinding down the what's it called, the tram tracks. We'll get rid of the rest of that. I may need to get rid of the mining area over there. And then from that point, it's basically just starting to break down the base. Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of those days. Actually, the mining rig might be the last thing I break down. And I don't really want to break down the base until this thing is done enough to be able to relocate and lock into it. Because there's a lot of hydrogen and oxygen I want to recover off of that base. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all for stopping in. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw those down in the section below. All of the feedback is helpful, as long as it's creative and constructive feedback. If you want to troll, you're welcome to. Just don't expect it to show up. YouTube's been auto-censoring a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy your week. And as always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Alright, let's get the rest of this stuff welded up. And we'll start getting some of the rest of this crap closed in this week as well. Still got a lot to do.